Let's look at a real quick first look of version 2.0. You'll see across the top here, these icons have changed from the typical drop-down menu we had. As you hover over each one, you'll be able to see what each one of these icons stands for. So hovering is your friend. You'll notice the rest of the dashboard looks the same, but some things have been changed, so we got to go through these. First thing is these screens now change and reload so lightning fast, using multiple tabs across the top may not be necessary for all shops. And to look at what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and switch one to a different view here. And that's how fast that screen loads. And we'll switch it back. So clicking on this one, obviously it looks like a technician, so this is going to be our technician view. So we're going to go ahead and load it with our dispatch view. When we move on and we want to look at a workflow view, we'll move here and we'll change it to a workflow view that we'd use in our shop. And I like to use estimating on this one. So just toggling back and forth between these two will go ahead and give you real quick loading on the views you normally use. Now I still prefer to go ahead and save multiple different tabs across the top for the different purposes I have. So you can see each one of these changes as we go through here. And then I like to put one for the dashboard. And I also like to make one for our service forms part of our website for the service advisor to have this at their fingertips at all time. And we'll show you how to use this at a later date. After you get these laid out the way you want them, again, we want to move over and we want to go to options. And of course, this is using Firefox, but most browsers use the same. And then we want to go ahead and say use current pages. So this is going to say multiple pages. Now if we close out of Firefox and we'll open it back up. Now there's a lot of other things that have been changed on here, but one of the main things you'll notice is the speed when you drag and drop a file. So you can see right now it's in the appointment date mode, and the first time we drag and drop a tile it's going to change. But this is the type of feedback it gets you when you change a location, and it happens just that fast. Now you can see it's changed to drag and drop mode. But compared to what we had before, this is just lightning fast. There isn't many other changes on here. You can still hover and go ahead and see when this icon shows up that obviously these are past the promised date and time. Your marker here for all assigned jobs to this technicians are done, and you can see here there's one job on this repair order that's still not done, and we can go ahead and find out what technician it is. We look over here and you can see that the red dot on here says he's the guilty party in this particular case. If you have multiple service advisors, they can still filter it just for their particular customers. So that's another good tool. And again, the speed on this is just absolutely incredible compared to what it was on the earlier version. So again, we have a tab set up for each of the different areas that we want to. I'm not quite so sure as fast as this page loads anymore that it's just not more efficient to go ahead and just change it in the drop down box, but again, that's a personal choice and it's your choice to make. So now let's take a look at some of the changes on the tablet. You can see here a tablet, and you can see this is now has the technical efficiency time tracking built into the tablet. The first thing you're going to notice as far as a technician, when you open your tablet, you can't just start looking around at vehicles. You have to clock in first. Also, the first time you clock in for the day, it will ask you what your goal for hours you'd like to produce today is. And there you go. You're also going to see right on the front page of the tablet, there's some things that have been added. Your marker for your Wi-Fi has been moved. This information in this area remains the same. 2 active vehicle, 2 idle vehicles, the name of the technician the tablet's assigned to. And you can see here that it's in drag and drop mode, meaning that you should be working on your repair orders starting from the left side and working across in order of how they've been assigned to you for completion. This technical efficiency time, when you tap it with your finger, basically opens up and gives you some choices that when you're not on a repair order actually producing, there's some other things that you do to spend your time, and by tracking these, it will help us go ahead and reduce downtime and increase efficiency. So if you're assisting another technicians, you might want to tap it with your finger, and you'll see that it is also going to be reflected in the bottom. And we'll leave that here for just a minute as we go on. This is going to be your first time that you clocked in the morning, or whatever time that you arrived, and this is going to be your elapsed time since your last punch in. This is billed hours that are approved for you to do for the day so far, and this is completed hours you've done so far during the day. Your clock out button, and when you go to lunch, you'll tap here. Your goal for the week that will be determined with a discussion between you and your manager, and the pace that you're on for the week so far based on the completed hours will be located right underneath it. So there's a lot of information for you right on the screen to use at all times. Most other things have remained on the screen just the same way they've been for a few versions now. Promise time, repair order, and so on. Your ability to go ahead and choose multiple reports. But we want to look at a new feature that's been put here to help communicate with the service advisor. So to do that, I'm going to open a vehicle. And you'll notice it still opens to our work order screen where we have it set up as a default in our shop. What I'd like you to look at right now is a new function that's been added to the camera to help your service advisors. So when you tap the camera, you're going to have a little different feel than you did before. And we'll just snap a picture here of just anything we have at hand. Now when we say use photo, now that when you tap with your finger and drag, it's going to go ahead and produce or mark a circle in your area of interest. So as far as the technician, it'd be real quick for you to snap your picture, take your finger and drag from the center of what you want to focus on. So if I wanted to focus on this logo here, I'd start from the center of the logo, take my finger, drag away from it, and then press upload. That's a great tool for you not only to show the service advisor what you're talking about, but for the service advisor to better communicate with the customer. For those of you that haven't noticed it, when we've done an inspection on a vehicle in the past and we've made recommendations, you'll see a little icon here that looks like a clock. When you take your finger and tap on that, you can go ahead and see that on this day and this mileage, we have went ahead and performed a coolant system leak test on it. So that information is right there for us to use. If you tap on the gear wrench, it will actually open up the repair order that work was done on. So all the information, you can tap each one of them with your finger and go on and read all the notes on that particular repair for. If it was one that you were doing a repair over again, you could make your selection, add a plus or minus to your time, and go ahead and click OK. But for right now, we're just going to take these check marks back out by tapping on them again. You can tap this little clock again to go ahead and shut that down. Now, as we continue to go ahead and put information in here that we want to make these inspections consistent, you'll start seeing these little play buttons pop up for the technician. And what these are is when you click them with your finger, it's going to go and open a video up, and it's going to go ahead and play both in voice and video.
If everything is good on your test drive,
how we want that particular inspection topic handled.
If there's some issues going on, press your drop-down list.
So anytime as a technician, if you're unsure of how we want this topic handled, then you can tap right here, play the video, and go on back to work. When you take your finger and tap on work order and you go back, the screen looks relatively the same as it did before, but here under technician log, where we used to go ahead and reassign jobs in an emergency type situation, you're going to click on where it says reassign job. And again, we prefer to handle this in the front office. However, there is times where you have to assign something to another technician immediately. That's where you do it. This other button for activity log is here for a feature that's coming soon, where you'll actually be able to go ahead and choose in your drop down list. You'll be able to choose a pay period for current pay period, a previous pay period, day, week, or month, to go and be able to see all your repair orders and how they're being handled as far as efficiency. And again, on the other side, you can filter it by seeing everything, just repair order information, or perhaps you just want to look at your efficiency times and see how your time not spent working on vehicles is spent. When you exit a repair order, it's automatically to come back and say no activity. You can either move on to another job if you have something else you're supposed to be working on, or go ahead and select something else you're doing. You might be going on a test drive that's not related to the vehicle you're working on, and again, you want to choose that and then move on. At the end of the day, you want to be sure and clock out on your tablet, which is done just by taking your finger and simply tapping on the clock out button.